Gather up your projects, settle in your favorite spot. It's time to stitch with Sarah at her Stitchy Camelot. Let's celebrate each other, this community we've got. It's time to get down to Sarah's Stitchy spot.
Hello everyone, my name is Sarah. Welcome to my FlossTube channel, where we will discuss and celebrate all things cross-stitch. Grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and join me
at Sarah's Stitchy spot.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and this is FlossTube number 12. It's Wednesday, December the 7th, 2022. As I always do, I want to give a big hug and a shout out to my wonderful, talented husband for that intro song that you might have all been tapping your toes to. I also want to take this moment to welcome each and every one of you to my FlossTube channel. If you are new, I hope you will like what you see and that you will subscribe, like, ring the bell, share, and do all the things that we do on YouTube. If you are a returning viewer, every time when I think of each and every one of you, I become speechless. You've become such an important part of my life. And I realize that when I hit that button to start recording, I get so excited and a little nervous that I know that we're going to be spending a lot of time together. I hope you keep sharing your comments with me, what you're stitching. I do want to throw out something that I forget every single time. For those of you that are on Instagram, always tag me. My handle on Instagram is at Mistress Page. It will be in the description box below. But it would be a wonderful way to get to share visually what you're stitching on and your progress on those pieces. So if you think about it and you want to, I would love for you to tag me so that I can follow along with you. So I have a lot of things today. They're a bit disjointed, but a lot of things, and I'm very excited about them. So what I'm going to start with is some mentions that I wanted to make about FlossTube channels. I will address a couple of comments. I'll do a previous finish. I'll do some fully finished objects, my new starts, what I've been working on. I always say plans, but half the time I forget to tell you what those are. Maybe it's because I just don't know. And I will share a little bit of haul with you, and then we will say our goodbyes until next time. So let's get started. The mentions that I wanted to make. As all of you know, and you've been so encouraging to me, that I have a thing about 1/1 stitching. I took someone's advice in a comment, and I did go and look up the FlossTube. It's FlossTube number 15 by Jean Farish Needleworks. Wow. I haven't gotten to actually try out the tips and the things that she showed me, but I do feel like they will be very helpful. She is brilliant. I have watched her videos. I just hadn't seen that particular one. It's just amazing, the resources that we have in this FlossTube community. So for any of you out there that may be thinking about 1/1, struggling with 1/1, I certainly want to direct you her way, and that's Jean Farish Needleworks, and that's FlossTube number 15. I will put her information down below. The next FlossTube that I wanted to mention was Kathy and Nancy at the So-and-So's. Their videos are quite popular. They are new, but they are just brilliant stitchers and a lot of fun to watch. But the particular one was episode number 6. And in that one, and I think it's Kathy, forgive me, both of you, if I get the names backwards, but one of you had done 20-something of the shepherd's bush stockings. They were in various, they were all finished. Some were fully finished. I really encourage you, if you want to see a parade of incredible stockings, to go over and take a look at that and just enjoy the beauty of all those stockings, because they are certainly something to look at. I also want to mention Carol Saltbach Stitcher. She again, her most recent video, which I watched yesterday, just does a Christmas parade that is, if that doesn't inspire you, you're not going to get inspired of all her beautiful stitching and her patterns and the things that she's got kitted up and what she's got on her radar. And so I know you all know Carol, but that was episode number 83. And I again encourage you to go and check that out. There are so many FlossTubes I could mention. I could do a FlossTube about the FlossTubers that I watch, but I just wanted to make sure that I did mention those three to you today. I am going on with that to talk about another FlossTuber, and I know that this has been made public, and she has shared it in a video and on Instagram, but Jody of Trixie Tricycle is starting to dye fabrics. She explains it all, and I'm not going in her most recent FlossTube, and I'm not going to attempt to try to remember all those details. I can barely remember the date when I start these FlossTubes. So please go and watch her. It appears to me, from what I've seen, she has given so much thought to this, both for us as stitchers, for the environment. It wasn't done willy-nilly. Let's just put it that way. And so, Jody, I celebrate your new business. Her website has not gone live for buying. I think it's going to be December 16th. Again, I encourage you to check her FlossTube, but it is going to be www.Cedar River Designs. And there are two of those, I think, but if you open a page that says, and you see some folded pieces of fabric, that will be Jody's site, and you can put in your email, and then she can notify you when everything is up and running. And so I encourage you to do that. Also, Roberta and Linnie, the Sable Stitchers. Roberta, when she originally started the Sable Stitcher before the lovely Linnie came on board, was working on a website to help us as stitchers know where retreats were. We've all said it, we've all heard others say it. Oh, I would have gone, I didn't know. She has got a website that should be going live soon, and I encourage you to check that out. Please, I will put all the information below because I'm going blank right now. But she has a website, and the retreats will be listed with links to registration, and it's a very all-encompassing, brilliant project, Roberta. And so I wanted to encourage you all to check that out. Okay, so we've got that. I wanted to address a couple of comments. One was about counting. How do I count between motifs when I'm doing a sampler? And I did answer the comment, but I thought I might address it here just in case. I basically try to go from the closest motif to the closest motif. That's what I try to do. Every once in a while, you can't do it. And what I generally do, if it's more than 10 stitches, it's going to be more than 10 X's, or 2 threads each. I will take the thread that I'm going to use, and I will run it up and down every 2 stitches so that I can count from the motif that I'm going from. And then I will start it that way. I know that some people use counting pins. I don't personally, but I tend to run a thread just so I have an idea, and then I can count like 2, 4, 6, 8, how many stitches over, and I leave that there, and then I start my stitch, and then I recount, and then I'll pull that tail through to use, but I try to check it twice. Still make mistakes sometimes, but I think my short answer is I just tried to go closest motif to closest motif. So I wanted to address that. The other question, I guess last time, because it's the only way I can figure it out, I must have held up one of my little index cards where I write down my projects and the fabric and etc. And someone made a comment that they thought my writing looked very nice. And how could that be? Because I was a doctor. Well, I have beautiful handwriting. And I'm very proud of my handwriting. When I moved to Birmingham, Alabama in the 3rd grade, I moved from Kentucky to Birmingham. So I had the 2nd grade in Kentucky, 3rd grade in Birmingham, Alabama. After a couple of weeks of this new school, the teacher told me I had to stay after school. Well, I don't ever get in trouble. I hadn't started that yet. But anyway, I didn't get in trouble, and I wasn't going to go home and tell my mom and my dad that I had to stay after school. It was because she felt my penmanship was horrible and it needed to be corrected. So I just want to throw in right now that I went on to win every penmanship award that one could win in elementary and middle school. I took it very serious. I want to say, I can't think of the woman's name. We had to take all these tests and competitions. I keep thinking it had the name Margaret in it. But anyway, so I went through my medical career with penmanship that could be read. So I just wanted to clarify that little piece of information. So, okay. All right. Now, so let's go to a previous finish. I just have one that I'm going to show today, and then I'm going to do one more FlossTube before Christmas, and I will do some more previous finishes, Christmas finishes that I have. So this one today is called Mouton de Noël by Tralala Collection, and this is stitched on a 32 count Wren by Picture This Plus, 1/1. I used the Called For Gentle Arts and DMC. It was finished by the fabulous Faye Rigsby into a pillow, and that gorgeous plaid on the back. But I love the Santa riding the sheep, and I adored stitching this. It was a favorite piece, and now I have it displayed in the entryway as you come into my house. So that is Mouton, MoutondE Noël by the Tralala Collection. And that will be my previous finish for this episode. Okay, now we'll go into my finishes. And I'm pretty excited about those. I always am. Okay, oh my goodness. I'll be right back. Hi, I'm back. I have someone that's a little angry with me because she cannot believe I would have forgotten to bring her to the table. And that is Miss Sarah Jane. She is finished. I know she's not fully finished, but she's finished. Yes, sirree. So this was the result of a project that I decided to do 2 threads or 25 minutes a day until she was done. And you all have graciously followed along with her progress. So just to go over it one more time, she is stitched on 32 count straw linen with the Called For DMC. I have this thing where I really want to make her a pillow. I would like to have her like laying on my bed or like sitting on the couch until the grandkids come. I'd have to put her up then. But anyway, this will be the last time you see her until I have fully finished her, which will certainly be after the holidays. So Miss Sarah Jane, thank you guys. I just feel like you were all sort of there with me for that and supported me for that. So thank you. Okay, now, so that was my finish. Now I have 2 fully finished. The first one is My Gift to Thee by the Scarlet House. And this is stitched on 32 count Country Mocha by Fabric Flare. And I used the called for over dyed floss. I just think this is so sweet. I put just some Christmas green fabric on the back with a little 20 to 22 pin and a charm, and a little charm that says believe with the pillow, with the button. And then I put the vanilla Chanel petite trim around. So it would just look like a little dusting of snow. But that is my finished, my gift to thee. So, and then it just keeps getting more exciting. Okay, big finish here. Well, fully finished. You've seen the finish. Is Dancer. Oh, and you know what? I didn't put the bow around the top yet. I think that's how I'm going to hide that. This is, I got this finishing technique from Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, and she did that on episode, where did I write it? Number 94. Hers was much smaller. This was big. This is an 8-inch hoop. So at times I struggled just a bit. I put a backing on it like this, and I promise, I will put a bow around that top. But these hoops, she also suggested, I got them on Amazon. They were not expensive. They have a real long screw here, and they come with the screwdriver and everything to tighten it. And they are a beech wood. She was advised not to use something that was bamboo because sometimes they fragment. And I didn't have any trouble using the hoop. This is wrapped in this same cloth that I used back here. I wrapped and glued with Aleene's glue around the outside of the hoop, and then laced and tightened, and then fitted the hoop on, cut off the excess, glued it to the back, and then put this piece here. So check out Elizabeth's FlossTube. Again, she does some brilliant finishing, just brilliant everything. But it was episode, like I said, number 94, where she shows this type of finish. So that's Dancer by Barbara Anna. And this is stitched on a 32 count, the Basalt Splash, and I used the called for DMC. Except that for the white, I did use a 12 weight sulky, just to give it a little bit more texture. And so I have that sitting on an easel, again, in my entryway. So that is Dancer. Okay, so those were my fully finished, and you've seen my finish of Miss Sarah Jane. So next we will go into new starts. Oh, I hope when I reach over like that, I don't knock the camera. We've already done that. I don't need to do it again. So we will go with my new starts, and they are out of the Prairie Schooler St. Nicholas book. And this is book number 20. You may be seeing some of these again on my next FlossTube when I did some of those last Christmas. And I have almost got a finish on this. I'm doing this on a 32 count Murky Lugana with the called for DMC. I love that gold coat. I just adore it. And it's DMC 437 that really surprised me. But I have several scraps of this, and I'm going to try to get a couple more done on the scraps and make good use of all of that fabric. So that is out of the St. Nicholas book, Prairie Schooler, and I could probably finish it in an evening. I don't stitch it in the evening. I could stitch it in an afternoon. So that was one of my new starts. The next new start was the Merry Christmas by Crow's Feet Stitching. And I can show you what that looks like. That was this gorgeous pattern. I think Marie of Stitches and Diamonds and Angie at the Tiny House Stitcher have started a stitch along with one of her newer releases as well. You might check their FlossTubes. I think it's called Deck the Halls, but I'm not positive. Anyway, so this is Merry Christmas by Crow's Feet Stitching. I love her patterns. And this is what I have done thus far. Right here, I got a center start on this one, sorry. I'm doing this on 36 count ballet slipper. And I am using the called for DMC. So that is Merry Christmas by Crow's Feet Stitching. That was my second new start. And my third new start, and I will put up a picture here, is Merry Santa by Teresa Kogut. I am in her Patreon, and this was one of the November patterns that she generously designs and gives to us for being Patreon members. And it is Merry Santa, and I got this little bit of a start. Got Santa going with the bird on his head. And it is stitched on 36 count Cola by XJU Designs with the called for DMC. So that is Merry Santa, Teresa Kogut. This is not one that I will see a finish on for this Christmas, but that's okay. I do think there's a possibility I could get the Crow's Feet Stitching piece done. I will certainly get the Prairie Santa done, and I'm hoping to even maybe get another one finished before the holidays. So those were my new starts, and now we will go to whips. And again, everyone was so kind, and you seem pretty much across the board to want to see the progress every 2 weeks, and I will be more than happy to show that to you. So we will get started on whips, and what I'm going to do is I'll do the Christmas whips first, and then go on into the other pieces. I have been really in a Christmas stitching mood. But I will say I have sorely missed stitching on a lot of my samplers, and I am looking forward to the new year and getting back to working on those. So here we go. First one is Merry and Bright by Cottage Garden Samplings, which looks like that. The font on this is the Merry is just gorgeous. And I am stitching this on 36 count eucalyptus from Fox and Rabbit with the called for overdyed floss. And this is my progress so far. I have the Merry in and started down on the berries. I'm not completely optimistic that I'll have this completed by this Christmas. It's a little, I think it's a little bigger than I thought it was when I started, but I do love stitching on it, and I love it on this fabric. So that is Merry and Bright by Cottage Garden Samplings. Okay, the next pieces are Christmas Delivery. Excuse me, just getting my cards organized here. And Christmas Delivery seems to be hiding from me, but I can remember. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, so it's Christmas Delivery. Again, that's by Cottage Garden Samplings. This one also will not sadly be finished for this Christmas. I think I'm going to try to figure out a way to put some of these bigger ones on some type of schedule throughout the year of 2023 so that I can continue working on those. And I think the bird was there last time. I started the snowflake, and I have started Santa. And again, let's see, this is on, where is it? Oh, you know, this is the one that I don't think this is eucalyptus. I think this is a cottage color and cotton. It was not labeled. So I do not think this is eucalyptus. I'm sorry for that confusion. I think this is color and cotton, but I don't know the color. So that is Christmas Delivery by Cottage Garden Samplings. And then my next piece is Merry Christmas Pin Keep by Stacy Nash. And I am doing this one on 36 Count Legacy by Picture This Plus. And I'm using the garnet from the Forbidden Fiber Company. And this one, again, you will see a finish next time. So I have just the border, which is very simple, and another deer, and that one will be done. And depending on how life treats me, maybe a fully finish into a pin keep. I have really enjoyed stitching this. I love the font of the Merry Christmas, and I love this garnet color by Forbidden Fiber Company. So that is Merry Christmas Pin Keep by Stacy Nash. Okay, let's see. I think we have one more Christmas piece, which is a little bit of Christmas by Samplers and Stitches, and I do have a picture of that chart. I really hope, for some reason I'm feeling like I hadn't worked on this since I showed it to you last time, but oh yeah, I think I did. I think I got more of the Christmas. So this is stitched on a 32 count Lugana by Color and Cotton in warm sienna. And I'm using the call for overdyed, except for I substituted DMC 732 for the pea pod. So you can see there's a little bit of contrast there in the greenery. So that is a little bit of Christmas by Samplers and Stitches. Okay, now we'll go into my whips that are not necessarily holiday related. And because I finished Miss Sarah Jane, I have picked a new 2 threads, 25 minutes a day stitch piece, and I picked Temperature Butterflies because I have gotten behind on that, and I have done too much of it to just not finish it. And I think this is the only way to push me to that finish. I only have 4 and change on the butterflies. It's a hard stitch right now because it is reminding me of the brutal summer that we had. And you will see that when you see the colors. So this is where I am on that. And you can tell that, especially July and August, they were almost solid, at least above 95 degrees, and mostly hundreds in August. But I think this would make such a cute pillow, and so I really do want to get it finished. it almost looks like, and so I'll just tell you, like right here, that I left off the color, but there was evidently a marked temperature change in that butterfly. So this is Temperature Butterflies by Stitching Mama. And again, that was on a 32 count Seraphim Summer Storm, and I'm using the called for DMC. So that one will be one that you'll see, continue to see until I get that one through. Okay. I did do a little work, as I said, finishing out the month of November on Pandemic. Do I have that right? No. Right side up. So I am stitching Pandemic on a 32 count Platinum Lugana with DMC 310. And let's see where we got to on this. I know I'm continuing in this center area here. So I think if you can see the flower is, I have brought that down from where the two owls are there. It's very hard to show. This is one that I now have in Pattern Keeper, and I love it. And I can try to show you the whole thing. It won't be I won't ever be able to I didn't go back and put in all those stitches into Pattern Keeper when I started, but I am enjoying it very much. So that is Pandemic. And I will continue somehow to keep that in my rotation again through 2023. As I have mentioned several times, I tend to go to it with times of stress. Often right after I filmed a video, it soothes my soul. Today I will be going back to Fruits of Plenty because it needs its full day of stitching, and I'll get to that when we get to that piece. And now we're into my Thursday Redwork Sampler Days, and if you remember, I am working on TGA Redwork Sampler by Just Stitching Along, Krista Grammer. And I do want to say I closed the blinds. I have no control over that one. It's just there. So, but at least we're not just blown out by the blind sun. Although several of you mentioned that you like that look, so thank you. Okay, so I did get further along on this one as well, and we'll probably have lots of hanging threads, but those little flower baskets along the bottom, I have gotten to. I got the, someone did ask, you can see the T in the bottom, very ornate letters. You see T-U. I have no idea what that is. T-U, it's either a V or a W, and then it goes XZ. So that is the way it was charted, and it is the way I am stitching it. So I am using Soie de J 946 and 4636 with the called for Gentle Arts and DMC. This one we're going to see a finish on this one. I'm here pretty soon. But that is TGA Redwork Sampler by Just Stitching Along. And then my other piece is Mary 395 by Hands Across the Sea. It is a Bristol sampler. Another incredibly comforting stitch. And I'm just continuing to take those alphabets across. I want to get to those motifs at the bottom, but you can see I finished. I can't see what you can see, but all the way across, and then I got about a third of the way across on this next row of alphabets. But I am stitching this one on 36 count Edinburgh antique ivory using primarily Gloriana poinsettia. And as I mentioned before, I had this kitted up at the attic, and they were concerned about whether I might have enough of that. So I have done some of the thicker alphabets in Hollyberry. So that is Mary 395 by Hands Across the Sea. And she will continue to get work every Thursday until she is done. Okay. The next piece is the birth sampler that I'm doing for my medical assistant who had the baby on Monday. The baby is fine. Mother had a little bit of a rough time, but she's doing well also. We have been texting, and the baby is healthy and perfect, and it's a little boy. And so I am doing this piece called Welcome to the World by Stitch Rovia, and I better get cracking because now I have all the information to put in. I kept thinking I could drag my feet till I got that. This is a Dangling Thread City, but I'm moving it along. And I am doing this on 20 count Ada in antique white with the call for DMC. And again, that's by Stitch Rovia. Welcome to the world. Welcome to the world, little guy. The next piece is one of my commenters that just makes my wife very happy. She's very funny and she brings a lot of joy to me. Said that I really needed to get the pants on Ira. And I told her that I live in California, so we may not have as stringent rules as the rest of the country. But anyway, I got one leg finished. I'm not giving him quite the attention right now because of the holidays, but I am trying to put threads in him. And I think it was actually the same commenter that thought Ira needed his pants. We are coming up with probably, and I think someone else mentioned it as well, that what I will probably do, stitching them on the same piece of fabric, is lower the stalks of flowers between them rather than taking them out altogether. So I am stitching this on 36 count marbled terracotta by XU Designs. And I'm using the call for DMC. And this was gifted to me by Julie of Running with Scissors, Stitching with Jane and Julie. So that is Ira Ray. Oh, and I actually brought the chart. I'm very precious about this chart and taking care of it so that it will move on. But that is the chart. Okay, so that is Ira Ray. And then my last piece is Fruits of Plenty, which, as you know, is my 7-day focus piece. And this is by Modern Folk Embroidery, and I will put a picture of the chart there. Oh my goodness, did you guys see the picture of his sampler for 2023? It's his stitch along, that's what he calls it. I think you can pre-order the pattern right now, but if you haven't seen it on any type of social media, you could go to his website, Modern Folk Embroidery. It's extraordinary. I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but it is the same size as Fruits of Plenty. And I could see them being beautiful companion pieces, but he's blown this one out of the water. His mind, wouldn't you like to be inside that and just wonder how it works? And he sings like an angel. He's been putting up some videos of Christmas music and just talking about various things. And he sang this Coventry carol that, well, I was just blown away. It was a beautiful voice. And so very talented man. So this is Fruits of Plenty. And as you can see, I am continuing to work down in December. I love this piece. I think I'm going to miss it too when I'm through. We've been together for a while. And I'm doing this with DMC 932 and 939, and it is stitched on a 36 count ivory even weave. As I may have mentioned previously, you can see that there are 2 spaces there for initials, and I'm going to put Stan and Sarah, put our initials there because Stan picked out the center motif, which is the lovebirds, which is exactly what we are. Okay. Which reminds me, I haven't even mentioned Chester. And that's just because he is doing so good that we're just not thinking about bad things here. He is happy, he's walking, he's eating. I keep checking for any recurrence of the tumor in his lower jaw, and nothing is there. So he's doing good, and he appreciates all of your love and all of the well wishes that you guys continue to send him. So we're just we're just going to be in that place right now where we're just happy and enjoying the holidays and all of our time with Mr. Chester. So, okay, now, what I wanted to do before I went into haul was I was going to show you guys this incredible collection of charts that are Christmas in nature, just to see if it might inspire you. I do not have them kitted up. I received these as a raffle winner when Emily C. of Eclectic Possessions does her Duck Derby. And I was blown away. There were so many charts. If you remember the Peppermint House by Pansy Quilts, that was one that I got and finished. And I've got a couple of more of hers in here. So I just thought I would show you these. And like I said, they're not kitted up. They probably won't get started for this Christmas, but for any of you out there that are maybe looking for something to grab to start, I thought I would show you. So this is In the Meadow by Cottage Garden Needleworks. And this would actually be a piece that would be gorgeous on Jody of Trixie Tricycle, Cedar River Designs. She has a color called Arboreal. It is a green that is to die for. Wouldn't that be gorgeous? So and then I have several of these Country Cottage Needleworks. This one is called, well, I don't know. I'm just going to say ho, 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 and away we go. I don't see a title. It's Away We Go. It's on the back. I haven't done much stitching on dark fabric, dark as in black. So probably when I do this, I will probably do it on either a dark other color or a lighter. Okay, and then this one is called Gingerbread Houses. It's so cute. Okay, and then this one is Jack Frost Tree Farm by Little House Needleworks. Now that one looks like it would stitch up very quickly. So that one might be one I sneak out, depending on how I do on these other pieces. Okay, and this is one of my favorites. I don't know why I didn't start this one, but it's Pomegranate Santa by Plum Street. Oh, isn't that just gorgeous? Those colors. Oh, one of my favorites. In fact, I'm going to put that in a different pile because, oh, Dancer was thinking about falling. And this one is Not Forgotten Farm, called Holly. How gorgeous is she? I may have to put that aside to get kitted up. She could probably be out all year, but she definitely has a Christmas vibe to me. So that's Holly by Not Forgotten Farm. And these were some of the other of the Pansy Patch quilts and stitchery. This is Sugar House Cookie. I just love the flower. I mean, it's just so cute. And then I have the Gingerbread House. So this was a series of 9, it appears. So I had 2 and 3, and maybe 1 was Peppermint House. So this is Gingerbread House. Oh, it's just, oh, stitch, stitch, stitch. And then, of course, the Brenda Gervais. This was called Snowbirds. Oh, I love that. And this is also Brenda Gervais. This is Christmas Cottage. Okay, and Mr. Marshmallow. I know a lot of people have stitched this. And Burr, It's Cold Outside. Again, Brenda Gervais. I can pretty much promise you all of these I will stitch over time. I love her aesthetic. I love her. I just love everything about it. Okay, and then this is Peppermint Pals. I would wear a pair of pants like that if I had them. I would. True story. Okay, and then this one was not in the bundle that I got from Emily C. But I just wanted to show, it was a freebie by Stacy of Lindy Designs, Lindy Stitches. And I'm just keeping it with all this because I love it. And by the way, I hope if you participated in Jingle Ball, you had a great time. I didn't go on Friday night, and I guess that's when there were minor glitches that they got worked out. But I did go into a couple of stitching rooms, and I just had a beautiful little experience. I went into a stitchy room, and there were just 2 people there. They weren't stitching at the time, and you know who you are. And we have a lovely time. It was just it was very sweet. Just meeting new people and sharing thoughts, and I loved it. So I do think we'll probably see another Jingle Ball next year, and I plan to try to participate a little more than I did this year. So those are just some charts to maybe tempt you with. And then I did want to, I neglected to show this, and I know a lot of you know about these, but Sylvia Ward of S. Ward Designs on Etsy is in our stitching group for the Love of Stitches, the group that's out of Sacramento. And I haven't gotten to meet Sylvia yet. She hasn't been to one of the stitch-alongs that I've gotten to go to. But she does make these project trackers. And this is the 3-year tracker, which she says is the most popular. And she gave us all a package of them. And so I just wanted to mention that because it's a very cool way. They are cardboard, and you can fill them out and put them in with your stitching project, and then you can just check off every day that you stitch on it and just have more of an idea of how much time it took you to stitch something or how quickly it took you to stitch something. So I just wanted to throw that out, and I will put her Etsy shop below, and you can go and check that out. So that was that. Now the next to the last thing is haul. And I don't have much. I'm trying so hard. But I'm going to start with the piece that I saw this morning that just blew me away, and I bought it, and I'll put a picture of it here, but I know you're going to see pictures of it on social media. Julie, Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World, has done the Holiday Rooster Sampler. I don't know why, but it just clicked on all my cylinders. It's only 2 colors, like a red and a green. I already have an idea of about what I would like to use, but it is open for all kinds of choices. And her hope had been to have it as a stitch along for Christmas. And let's just say there was a dog, there was a cup of coffee, and there was a laptop that had all her progress on it. And they had a meeting. So she didn't get to get it out as soon as she wanted to. So it's not a definitive Christmas sampler, but the reds and greens do make it look like that. And so she's going to start a stitch along, and I think the hashtag, I'll put it all below. I think it's going to be hashtag Holiday Rooster Sal. But if you want to start that and buy the pattern, I'll have all the information. She sells under the name Hemlock and Rye on Gumroad, and I will have that information below. So I did get that this morning, and I probably will start it in December. I was not going to start any more of Julie's pieces until I finished Thursday, but like I said, it just got me. So I did get that. I also picked up this small from Beth Twist of Heartstrings Samplery. It's called Love and You. Is that right? Love and Joy. And I thought it was so very, very sweet. And I just had to have it. So I got the PDF. And depending, may get that started as well. And then I actually won a gift certificate from Veronica of Cindy Rita Stitches during the September sampler month, and it was to Kitten Stitcher, and so I got a couple of charts, and I'm very excited about them. One is another Prairie Schooler, and it's a Merry Mini Surprise, so it's more Santas, because someday I will also have these on my tree as little ornaments. And then, very exciting for me, I got Mary Snow by Hands Across the Sea. So I'm hoping to take this with me to Sampler Symposium and have Nicola give it a sign. So more possibly in plans on Mary Snow. And then I'm sure all of you have, but I did get my copy of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher, one of the best magazines for us cross stitchers and for those of you who do punch needle that I think is on the market. And I haven't even looked at the charts inside. I save it for those very special moments. And I'm so afraid I'll see one that I think I have to start. And I probably will. So anyway, that is Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine for the winter Christmas holiday season. So, okay, now I think I got through this stuff. I think Miss Sarah Jane's no longer angry with me for forgetting her when we got started. My plans for December are to, I will probably continue stitching, obviously, some of these smalls and getting them finished, whether I fully finish them or not. I will probably pick a couple of pieces to start on Christmas Day, maybe that time in between Christmas Day and New Year's. And Mary Snow is high on my radar. I will definitely, most likely, give a start to The Holiday Rooster by Julie. And there is a blackbird, and I can't remember exactly. I will show you that when we come back in 2 weeks before Christmas. There's a blackbird, I think it's Christmas Rose, that I'm also quite interested in getting started. So those are my plans. I do want to show you my December book. It's quiet right now because we haven't gotten too far into December, but I'm putting a few little stickers here and there. But that is December. And I want to close today. I'm going to read you something. And a lot of you have already seen this, but if you haven't, I want to close by reading it today because it touched me, it touched me to the bottoms of my feet. It was a beautiful piece, and many of you did comment on it, and I put it up, the post in my story on Instagram. This was posted on Instagram by E.W. French Knots, and she said she found the quote in an old American needlework book by Rose Wilder Lane. And she is the daughter of Laura Ingalls Wilder. So I think it speaks to this time of year and what a lot of people are going through. So I'm just going to read it to you right now. It's very short, but I think it's important. Well, this is an age of anxiety. Of course, all ages are. In an age of anxiety, nothing is more tranquilizing than a quiet hour of needlework, especially needlework as precise and monotonous as the little crisscrosses of cross stitch. If conscience tries to reproach you for idling when there is so much to do, it is silenced when you reply in surprise, I am doing something. Look. Truly you are, for while your hands are creating beauty that will last longer than this age of ours, they cannot be restless or hurrying, and peacefulness comes from them to you. It isn't possible to be agitated while you are doing needlework. You are still. You rest and are refreshed. So all of us think about that. I know in various ways it gets all of us. But again, for those that this is a hard time of year, I hope that you can find solace in your needlework. And for those of us that are just rushing around, and it gives us those moments to slow down and appreciate everything that we do have. So I want to thank you guys for being here with me. Again, if you are new, I hope you like what you saw and that you will subscribe, ring the bell, share, and do all those things. I think I have covered everything on the table, so I'm going to say, grab your stitching, get comfortable, and stitch what you love. Bye-bye.